Good evening, everybody. This is Sweat, and I got a pretty good story for you. I'm not gonna lie. The other night I went out, and after my last video, when I told you guys that it was 8 years from my enlistment date on October the 7th, I went out that night, and I believe it was a Thursday, which was actually the one good night to go out in the town that I'm from. And went out with a few friends or whatever, and one of them had been drinking a lot, and I decided to start, getting my buddy a couple glasses of water just so he wouldn't feel like absolute shit the next day. And the next morning he told me that, I may have saved his life, but I almost made him piss the bed because of how much water that I had given him. And that just got me back to thinking that in boot camp, when you first get there, you're not used, a lot of people aren't used to the how physically demanding it is. And also they're not used to the weather. You get some guys that are from the Northeast or just the Midwest, way up north though, and they're not used to the humidity that South Carolina can bring. Now I was being from South Louisiana, but a lot of people weren't. So to counteract that or whatever, drill instructors would make you drink so much water it was ridiculous. It was like, I want to say it was like 20 canteens a day. And it was one of those things where you had to drink so much water that that each time, it was mandatory. Everybody stopped, get in formation. Everybody unscrews your canteens at the same time. Everybody tips the canteens and drinks at the same time, and they sit there and they tell you to drink. And when you drink until they tell you to stop, and then you hold your canteen over your head. And in addition to getting soaking wet, if you didn't listen to them, you had to sit there and listen to them scream and yell at you. So. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, I'm sorry. This is actually my first 100 kill game in Black Ops. It's a couple months old, and it's disappointingly enough, it is with the FAMAS. But yeah, I get 100 kills. I'm pretty excited about it. Just been waiting for something to use this video for. So this is it. So anyway, back to 20 canteens of water a day. So a lot of people weren't used to that. Weren't used to drinking that much water. Whatever the statistic is, like 7 glasses of water a day is supposed to be healthy or whatever. But think about it, everybody now just drinks canned drinks or whatever. So here we are, everybody having water funneled into their system at a rapid rate, and this is at the beginning of boot camp. And I'm telling you, people pissed themselves a lot, and it was hilarious because you'd be on guard duty or whatever, and somebody would just go running by you, and their green shorts would just be, soaking wet, soaking wet from them pissing themselves, and you just, all you can do is laugh. And of course, I didn't. I never pissed myself. So we're not gonna say anything about that. So I never did. But anyway, all these people would, because it was ridiculous. You were so exhausted from how grueling the day was. It started at 4 o'clock in the morning, ended sometimes around midnight. And you would just be constant, and then you had guard duty at night or whatever, and it was constant physical activity throughout the day. You were so exhausted that that you would sleep. As soon as you hit the rack, you were out, you were passed out. And these guys, they couldn't wake themselves up, or for whatever reason, and people were literally pissing themselves. And then the drill instructors would make a huge deal of it the next morning when the racks, they'd have to go and clean extra linen and put their linen away or whatever, because all these kids were pissing themselves. All right, so you got the backdrop. Well, the guy above me, his last name was Lee. I'll just say that his last name was Lee, and that's all. They put 2 skinny kids next to each other. He was on the guy above me, top rack. I was on the bottom rack, and Lee always had a problem with this. Luckily, it wasn't like dripping down on me or anything. But Lee pissed his rack. I would say more than anybody else in a platoon of 80 people. And that's not even me being sarcastic or exaggerating. Lee pissed his rack more than anybody. All right. So Lee, one morning, well, shit, I'm forgetting another part. I'm sorry. All right. With the guys that do the guard duty, sometimes they would wake us up earlier than the drill instructors. So we could wake up, we could go piss, we could go shave and everything early. And pretty much get dressed. That way you were ready, and you weren't rushing as much as the drill instructors made you rush. You tried to get as much done, so you'd have more time to make your rack because it was pretty important. That whole bouncing the quarter thing. They didn't bounce quarters, but if it wasn't neat, then they made your life hell, basically. So, you know, you had to actually spend a lot of time on that, for some people at least. So, Lee would never wake up when they would try to wake him up. When all the other guys would try to wake Lee up and, you know, try to say, hey, you know, we know you have issues with this, you know, wake up. And they would always wake me up trying to wake him up on the top rack. And I would always kick the rack, like, come on, man, you know, let's both get going, whatever. Well, Lee would never do this. Lee would never go piss early, you know, and how bad, you know, he always was. So this was probably 3 weeks in. Just about everybody had already gotten it all out of their system, except Lee. He wakes up one morning. Drill instructors wake us up one morning, and one side goes and, you know, shit, shower, and shave. They make everybody go in there every morning, take a shower, shave, do whatever, you know, do whatever. And the other side would have to make the racks. Well, this morning, they sent, I think, let's see, I was on port side, I was on left side, so they sent starboard side, they sent right side to the head, and Lee and I had to make our racks. And we finished making Lee's rack, and we're on my rack, on the bottom rack, and Lee is doing the happy dance. I'm like, Lee, what's going on? I got to go to the bathroom. Well, you know, just wait. She's, no, I got to go. I'm like, well, you know, we can't do anything, you know, just make the rack. And he's like, he stops what he's doing, he's just sitting there, and he's just like holding his crotch, like doing the happy dance, looking at me like a 4-year-old, like, what do I do? What do I do? It's like, come on, man, let's make the rack, whatever. Lee starts pissing. I mean, Lee starts pissing through his shorts. He's wearing these green, you know, these green undershorts that the Marine Corps issue gives you or whatever that you see in the movies, and he's pissing a stream of urine through his shorts on me, across the rack, all over my rack, all over my stuff, and I'm furious. I'm screaming at Lee. Drill instructor comes, starts screaming at me. I have to sit there and stand at attention and try to explain. And Lee is just sitting there with piss running down his leg, all, like it pretty much gone up his shirt, down his leg, all over his, and he's just sitting there like, well, what else is he going to do? He's already pissed all over everything. There's no reason for him to go to the head or whatever. So Lee's just sitting there soaked in piss, and the drill instructor's looking at me, reaming me out for screaming in the morning, you know, when everybody's supposed to be quiet. And then he looks at Lee and just pulls his cap under, like pulls his, you know, the drill instructors have those big wide caps, pulls it down over his face and walks away. And you know he is just laughing his ass off. And I'm furious. I'm like, I wanted to look over at Lee, punch Lee in the face. And because this guy just pissed all over me, like physically pissed all over me through his shorts. And I will never forget, like it was a stream, like a direct stream. It's like he had a hole in his pants. But no, that's how bad this kid had to piss from all this. And oh man, I was just furious, and the drill instructor just walks away. You know he was laughing. Like, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. Because that's what they would do. They would, like, when something would be funny, they can't show emotion. They can't show laughter. All they can show is how pissed they are that you screw up. So this guy just walks away. Just walks away. And leaves me there. And Lee's just, I'm sorry, man. You know, I don't know what to do. And that reminded me of that. My buddy telling me that I saved his life from drinking so much water. Reminded me about Lee pissing all. There was nothing to do. There was nothing to do after that. You know, he went, he changed, he got his change of clothes, went and showered. You know, when they told us all to, we had to bag my laundry up and put it. You know, it looked like I was the one for the other drill instructors, like I was the one that pissed my bed, and yeah, this guy had just literally pissed all over me, all over my stuff, and I didn't realize this story was going to take this long, but. You know that a lot of you guys want to hear the boot camp stories, and I enjoy telling them, but I don't, you know, I don't remember all of them all the time. I can't just sit here and brainstorm and think about every single thing that happened to me at boot camp. It just, sometimes it takes a little something like your roommate telling me he almost pissed himself to say, oh, speaking of that, did I tell you the time that I got pissed on? So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I just remembered the other day, and I thought it was pretty funny, so I thought that you guys would certainly enjoy it. This is the end of the game. Like I said, 111 kill game. It's my highest kill game ever. I don't play Demolition or anything like that. I strictly play TDM and Domination. So, and this is Ground War. So I was pretty excited about it, but it's a couple months old. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to talk to Alex and see if they'll get this on COD Ops. So if you are on COD Ops and you do see this video, feel free to check out my channel and subscribe to my channel. I got a pretty decent montage coming up that I'm really excited about. Those of you on my channel should be up in the next week or two. And other than that, guys, I got nothing for you. Y'all have a great day. Thank you again for watching, and really, I'm glad I could share this with you. See you later.